Hello, Ritika. Can you stop the recording, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Jai Jinendra, everyone, and welcome to this wonderful Sunday morning lesson. I will really call it a lesson because it's something which I have stayed so far away from. Earning money, yes. Knowing what to do with it, investing, yes. But what about what happens when things don't go exactly as planned? What's happening to our hard earned money? And here is a person who's done so much work in this area. It's incredible. And really looking forward to hearing from Anita Ji Shah all about this. Anita Ji is currently CEO, Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority. She's been a key architect behind India's insolvency and woo, woo, woo. See, this is where you can make out that I'm just not in this field, right? Even these words don't come out so naturally from my mouth. Bankruptcy ecosystem. She has done so much work in public finance, regulatory, clarity and design, and citizen-centric policies from the government. So, welcome, Anita ji. We are so happy, privileged to have you join us and you make time to really look and educate us on these areas. So, Anita ji, would like to find out from you what has been some of the key things that you are really proud of in your you got such a fantastic career, and we will put that into the chat box and people can get to know more about it, but I really want to know from you, what are the things that you are really proud of?
Jai Jinendra, it's such a pleasure being here in this group. And I'm proud, of course, of one being a Jain because whatever I've learned, the way the conduct is required to be done, all this flows from the fact that I'm a Jain. And that is one of the things I'm very proud of. And beyond that, yeah, I mean, it's a pleasure serving the nation beyond what we could have led ordinary lives like usually a typical Gujarati family you get married around 18, 19, and then you are off to taking care of kids and having a normal life. But I was fortunate that I was allowed to write the civil service and then get into it and try and make change. During the days that I joined the civil service, there were hardly anybody from our community.
Community.
Yeah. So, and then around that time, I think after I joined somewhere around 2007, 8 or something is when I was associated with JITO for a very short while in Hyderabad. And that's one point where I got to give back again. And now we have a lot of civil servants in from our community. So I get to see a lot of Jains all around. But during the days that I was there, there were hardly anybody. So that's one great thing that's happened. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. And thank you for, making this time to share with us. And without much ado, let's really talk to everybody. The scope of today's program is all about, you know, so much unclaimed money. हम लोग मेहनत करते हैं, डालते हैं कहीं पर, maybe our parents, maybe our relatives, it's there, and then we sometimes we don't even know. You'll be surprised when this program was being organized. I I think the universe कैसे बोलते ना, कुछ कुछ हो जाता है कहीं पर. A friend of mine gave me a share certificate, a physical share certificate of my dad, which was in 1954, and we didn't even know it existed. And my dad has also passed away 20 years ago. Actually, today is his death anniversary. And it's like, हमको पता भी नहीं था. और कितने लोगों का ऐसा हो सकता है? And what happens? How do we claim? How do we get to know? How do we make sure this doesn't happen to us? it'll be very, very interesting to find out about this. And for all the people who are participating, I'm sure, just like me, you would also have lots of questions. So kindly put your questions in the chat box. It will be monitored by Sanyogji, Ajay, Gaurav, all there to monitor. And we will ask Anita ji these questions. The way we have planned and structured our session today is there's in two parts. The first part is about unclaimed money. The second is about when you have a business, what happens if you want to get out of it. So we would love to know who's here. And we have a very nice small group. In sometimes it's a advantage because then you get more time with the person. You can ask more questions to them. Uh, However, just a little poll would be good to have right now and to get to know you. So it's only just to get to know who's attending so that we can customize and Anita ji can customize it to your needs. So if you could just answer this poll, please. It's about your age group. It's about what type of business or what type of whether how you are employed or not, and in which sector. Just some basics we'd like to know. Okay. If everybody could answer, that would help. Just leaving it on for another 5 seconds. Okay. So we end it here. And here are the results, Anita ji. And that is, are you able to see that? Majority of the people today are in that 40 to 60 years old range. So I think tips on what to do so it doesn't go unclaimed would be very useful. And then, of course, mostly people are salaried in the corporate sector and of the IT and finance sector. We don't have any CAs and legal people joining us today as of now.
Oh,
Some may join a
sorry.
little later.
I'm
Yeah. So,
here. I'm sorry to
yeah.
interrupt. So
Sorry.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm here from Bangalore, JPF convener. I'm there as a CACS, but I was not able to put in the poll, so I think it's not there.
Okay, sure. Ronakji, thank you so much for joining.
Yes.
And feel free to ask your questions,
Yes.
and we will look at it. And maybe, as we have discussed, maybe a special session for the CAs and the lawyers where Anita ji can go really in depth and answer their questions on a technical aspect also. So, thank you for joining here. Okay. So, Anita ji, over to you.
Yeah. So now we just show the first infographic that I have on Aapki Punji, Aapka Adhikar. So this campaign was started by the Honorable Finance Minister in on 4th of October uh, 2025. We kicked off from Ahmedabad, and this is a 3-month campaign across all the regulators. Now let me just explain what exactly happens here. Now, there are a lot of unclaimed assets which are with all the financial regulators, etc. Like you've got about 1.04 to 1.08 lakh crores as of December 25, which is across banks, insurance, mutual fund, and dividends. So we have a very active campaign which is running. What happens to your bank deposits in case you've not updated your KYC, or you shifted stations, or you maybe changed your bank, you changed your address and you forgot to close that bank account, or you forgot to update your KYC, as a result of which your account goes inactive? Or it's possible that for a very long time you've not done any withdrawals, or the withdrawals from the account, and then also it goes dormant or inactive. First it becomes inactive and then it becomes dormant. So once the account becomes dormant, it moves into the deaf fund of the RBI. So this is Depositor Education and Awareness Fund. So about 78,000 crores is lying in the DEF fund with the RBI. For this, search facility has been made by the RBI, which is the Udgam portal, wherein you put in your last known bank account details and certain details are put in, and then you know that this money is lying in so many bank accounts, and then you'll of course have to go back to those bank branches and reclaim that amount, whereby you update your KYC, etc., and that account becomes active, or you get it transferred to whichever account you want. That is insofar as the bank deposits is concerned. Then you've got insurance policies which have gone unclaimed, which is about 14,000 crores. And this money is usually transferred to the Senior Citizen Welfare Fund after 10 years. And then there's a Bima Barosa portal, and each of the insurers have their own websites. So through the Bima Barosa portal, you can find out which of your insurance money has gone unclaimed, and you can then there is a process by which you claim it. Then similarly, for SEBI, SEBI looks after the mutual fund aspect of it. They have a website called Mitra. Through the Mitra portal, you can find out which all of your mutual funds are lying unclaimed. And again, you update your KYC, and there is a process for claiming that back. Similarly, unpaid dividends and shares. I will come in detail for this because this is what I deal with, the unpaid dividend and shares. That is Investor Education Protection Fund Authority. Similarly, you got a PFRDA authority where you've got a pension corpus which is lying unclaimed. There's a pension, this thing which is lying unclaimed. So that each has to go to the pension manager. So now the government has started a campaign that please come, this is all your money. Come back, update your KYC and get back your money. Now I'll move to the next infographic, which is specifically on IPFA. Now, this is, if you recall, you maybe many a times when you're cleaning up the old cupboards or your parents' cupboards or grandfather's cupboards or your own cupboard for that matter, you might be having these physical shares which and you don't know what to do with them, or you may find dividend vouchers which you've not bothered to put it in the bank because it was maybe 5 rupees 10 rupees, uske liye bank ko kaun jayega and all that. The issue that happens when you are not claiming this money, when you don't deposit this dividend amount into the bank for 7 years, it lies unclaimed. What happens is a company under the Companies Act, Section 125, 124, in fact, the company, when they declare dividend, within 30 days, they've got to pay out the dividend to you. And in case if you do not take this dividend, then it goes into the unclaimed dividend account for 30 for a period of 7 years, and after 7 years it comes into IPFA. So when it comes to the Investor Education Protection Fund Authority, after 7 years, there's a process of claiming back this money. Earlier, the share market was maybe it was very less. And if you recall, when we used to buy shares earlier, there used to be in that BSC, NSC ka road pe, there used to be these people who would have these forms that you fill up anything that you like. It was never linked with your PAN account. You could fill it up in various people's names, and the amount also was very small. The share market was around 4,000, 5,000 odd points, and now it has gone up to around it's gone up pretty high to 85,000, and a small amount has become a very huge amount now. So now there is a lot of everybody wants their shares and dividends back. So, what happens? What is the process? There is a process that is to be followed for this. The process that is required to be followed is that we have a search facility, ipf.gov.in, where you create a account and you search whether your search by your last known address, by your folio number, by your name. You can search as to whatever folios have come into the IPF. Based on that, you can claim. There is a process of claiming. There's a IPF 5 form which has to be filled in order to claim this amount. Now you have to give a valid ID proof, that is PAN card, Aadhaar card. You have to have a functional demat account. The important thing is that if your share is, say, in the name of your father and mother, in this one is the father and two is the mother, then it has to be, the demat account has to be opened in the same sequence. If it is you and your wife, the demat account has to be opened in the same sequence. So that is a requirement of that, and it has to be an active demat account. You have to have a client master list which is obtained from the depository participant of your whoever is holding your demat account. Then there has to be a proof of entitlement, that is your old dividend share, etc. You have to give it to the company. They'll give you a proof of entitlement, and then you have to also enclose a cancelled check to it. Then all these, after taking all these documents, please fill in the MCA portal pe. There is, you'll have to register, open an account, and then you fill up this form, put in all these details, upload the document. Then these physical documents will have to be mailed to the company. The company will give us a e-verification report. Based on the e-verification report, then we sit and do the approvals. That is, your identity is established, your claim, because it is property. Share again is a property, so your claim to that property is established, and then share transfer and dividend transfer takes place. To your share transfer goes to your demat account, and the dividend goes to your bank account. So this is the process that is there. And I would request all of you really to look out, search out for all the shares and dividends that you have, or you, your friend, all of you, whoever has, please come in, look at these things, file it in our website. It may take some time. I mean, as per rules, we're supposed to be taking 90 days between the company and us. But there is a lot of pressure. We have got about 60,000 pendencies right now. So we're trying to clear that off. It'll take time, but then you're going to get it back. There is no requirement to engage a broker. There's no, the process is very simple. It's just the documentation. And some of the documentation, especially for transmission cases and FIR lost cases, etc., we made the documentation processes very simple. It's all available on the website, so I'm not getting into great detail of this. But uh, so this, and we I from what I'm reading, one of the questions here is that the process is very difficult, and it's difficult to get it from IPFA, and the documentation is very difficult. We are working towards reducing the documentation, and I really would welcome any kind of suggestions, whatever is doable for us to reduce the documentation. In fact, there is a proposal to reduce the documentation for below 5 lakh value. Kind of you do it in a Jan Vishwas mode. कि आपने कहा कि ये आपका है, I believe you and I give it to you. So these are the kind of processes. But government being what it is, government is a little conservative in what they do, because it's somebody else's money. And if I give it to the wrong person, then I better be careful, because I'll be held responsible. So we tend to be a little more pessimistic, and we always ensure that there's nothing going wrong. It's not going to a wrong person. So that's taking us some time, but we are in the process of improving the processes. Right.
Thank you so much. That's really wonderful to know these things. And did I get it correct? Let me see if I can sum. That is there a time limit to which you can claim, or it's at any time you can continue to claim?
You can claim anytime. There is no time
Anytime.
limit. Yeah.
Okay. So, and is there something that, okay, this is where the government is saying this is unclaimed money, somebody has passed away or something we've forgotten, and it's about dividends. But nowadays, a lot of people have children who are abroad. I mean, almost every lot of families they have things like that. Okay, now, and we said also when we looked at our participants' profile, most of them are in the 40 to 60 years, whose parents would be elderly. They would not be as comfortable and tech savvy. तो इन लोग के लिए क्या advice है आपका?
इन लोग के लिए हमारा एडवाइस ये है कि वी आर ओपनिंग निवेशक सेवा केंद्र अक्रॉस द कंट्री. आई मीन मोस्टली यू हैव दिस इन्वेस्टर सर्विस सेंटर्स which are
Mm.
there linked to the BSc or the NSC. So there we put our people to help people file the form, fill up the forms, and get the information, etc. And we are trying to kind of break the hegemony of brokers, because what I realize is that these agents charge about 20 to 30% for as brokerage charges, which is just not required. But from the study that I have done is that people require to give this money is not for getting it from IPFA, but for doing the documentation per se. So, as I said, we are
Mm.
trying to simplify the documentation. At least below 5 lakhs, we propose to simplify it कि कम से कम उसके लिए आपको मेहनत नहीं करनी पड़े. But where, I have cases where somebody has got 150 crores worth
Wow.
shares, and they have nicely gone to a judge. This is Bombay High Court का कोई judge है, and they're just
Mm.
getting orders कि don't even bother to find out whether the person is correct, right, he really deserves it or not, he's a real legal heir or not, you just pay the money. So
Mm.
those kind of pressures are also there because it's a lot of money. In fact,
True.
9,000 crores is what we have in terms of dividend. But if you look at
Mm.
the value of shares, we've got about 90,000 lakh crore worth value of shares. That's a huge amount.
Mm. So
So
this is great. So if this money is all lying there, what does the government do with the money? I mean, just
the
keeping it for us?
money is lying in the public account. There is a
Mm.
designated account called the IPF, that is Investor Education Protection Fund. So that
Mm.
designated account is a liability of the government. So the government keeps it separately, does not do anything with it. But yes, it's not it's a non-interest bearing account. So if you've forgotten your dividend and you expect, yeah, I've forgotten my dividend and I want government to pay you interest, sorry, government is not paying you any interest on that. You've forgotten it.
Okay. So whatever the original value is what you would get. So अगर 15 साल पहले it was just about say 20,000 or something. So it's still going to be only 20,000 even in today's age, is my
डिविडेंड तो आपका
understanding.
जितना अक्यूमुलेट होगा वो आएगा, बट योर
Huh.
शेयर विल डेफिनेटली वुड हैव गॉन अप इन वैल्यू बिकॉज यू गोइंग टू गेट दोज नंबर ऑफ शेयर्स. फॉर इंस्टेंस, इफ आई टॉक अबाउट मी,
Mm.
I my father's house, there is a room which is a complete mess. It's full of dust. I am scared to get into that room. It has a lot of dividend vouchers. It has a lot of share certificates. The moment I
Yeah.
got into IPFA, that's when I realized that there's something which can be done with it. And then we found a treasure of some Reliance ke shares, and
Uh-huh.
then we got retrieved them from IPFA. I became richer by about 20 lakh rupees. My father became rich by about 20 lakh rupees. So I mean, and at the time when my father would have thrown it away, that value would have been nothing. He would have
Mm.
thrown it away maybe 10-15 साल पहले अंदर डाल दिया, कौन देखता है, कौन जाएगा, कौन करेगा. He would have left it. So my father is today 85, so he would have left it when he was 60 के भाई हो गया, अब क्या करेंगे इतना पैसे का, छोड़ दो. But then now you see 20 lakhs is a huge amount of money. And similar kind of thing would be with, I'm sure this is a कहानी घर घर की.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. That's really so practical, and I think we can all relate to it. Just opening it up for the next 5 to 7 minutes before we go to part two on this topic of money and unclaimed money. Any questions that you all have? Vishalji, questions? Anyone
Yeah.
else questions? Yes, Vishalji.
So maybe sorry, I just went ahead to pose. So first of all, maybe what are the common mistakes? I guess KYC you mentioned, but generally जो हम ध्यान नहीं देते हैं, and जैसे आपने कहा सुषमा जी, हम इतने कमाने में लॉस हो जाते हैं कि how do you make your
Mm,
money work? We don't know.
mm,
तो जो common mistakes में issue के shed lights, right? कि इवन पेरेंट्स का इवन अपनाओ. सेकंड है कि हमें पता ही नहीं कि ऐसी कौन सी अनक्लेम्ड है. अगर मुझे पता हो तब तक मैं फिर भी स्टेप्स लूं, भले ब्रोकर हो या गवर्नमेंट की इनिशिएटिव्स हो, मैं डॉक्यूमेंटेशन डालूं, लेकिन मुझे पता ही नहीं है कि सपोज करो कोई ऐसा कुछ फैसिलिटी है कि मैं अपने पैन नंबर डालूं या कुछ डालूं क्रेडेंशियल से, इट कैन टेल मी कि ये जो है आपके नाम पे रजिस्टर्ड शेयर्स हैं या जो भी है, इफ समथिंग लाइक दैट, बिकॉज देन एटलीस्ट आई एम अवेयर, देन आई टेक द स्टेप. So those are the two things I had.
So what we're doing is currently, like as I've shown you in the first infographic, all the different search facilities which are there. As of today, you've got to go to these different search facilities and find out if anything of yours is there. For
Hmm.
instance, I found out from Mitra that I've got some 3,000 rupees ka some mutual fund somewhere and something somewhere. That's what I realized after looking at Mitra. But this is because I am in the business, so I was just going around it, right? So, what I would urge all of you for now is at least these five, six entities like Udgam, Mitra, insurance ka jo bhi hai, Bima. But so please have a look at that. All you need to do is probably just put in your name and your last known address. PAN number bhi agar available hai, matlab if in those days your information was linked with PAN number, then kindly put that in. Otherwise, you can leave it. So these are the two things that can be done, right? And then now we are also planning to build in a portal. In unified portal is being proposed now, wherein a citizen can search for all the information at one go. But that will take some time.
Sure.
Hmm. And common mistakes are what कि लोग क्यों भूल जाते हैं, मतलब मेरी KYC is the
एक तो
reason
आपका
या फिर
केवाईसी अपडेट नहीं होता है. Nowadays we are very strict. If you remember, every 3 months, 6 months, you've got to update the KYC. So that needs to be done from time to time. So that is one requirement that has come about. And the other common mistake would be like you have shifted stations, and you have probably not intimated the company that your bank account has changed or whatever. If you remember earlier, you were not able to move your bank accounts also. आज तो now core banking के कारण एक ही बैंक that account number works everywhere. So there are ways where we are trying to reduce the dependencies on updation of KYC, but it may not happen necessarily. So that is the thing.
Oh, okay.
We'll
नहीं
have
in
to be
gen
alert on all our investments
नहीं
or
in general इस सबने कहा ना कि हम सोचते हैं कि छोटा सा अमाउंट, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल ऑल सैलरीड पीपल इंक्लूडिंग माइन, वी हैव ESI डिडक्शन. अब ESI का कौन कौन बॉदर करता है, पेंशन आएगा ESI का होगा, पता भी नहीं कि am I entitled or not, but then like a
yeah.
0.36% deducted every month for my 25-30 years of career. I don't know what it means for me to, and I know that's not your area, but I'm just giving as an example कि we don't even know कि इसका मतलब, because गवर्नमेंट का स्टैट्यूटरी डिडक्शन है तो it gets cut. अब वो
तो
पेंशन भी
वो तो
आएगा
आपको
तो होगा.
ईपीएफओ की
हाँ
साइट में जाके देखना पड़ेगा.
हाँ
Yeah.
एग्जैक्टली तो वन टाइम
So,
अलर्ट
but
में
then, as I
हाँ
said, once we have a single search
हाँ
facility or a search portal, then it'll be very useful for everybody.
हाँ
And
हाँ
in
True.
fact, we
हाँ
are planning to link it to your DigiLocker also. So, आप DigiLocker
हाँ
के द्वारा भी you will be able to see. But then all these processes will take us some time. It's
हाँ
not going to
Ah,
happen overnight.
हाँ. और दूसरी चीज ये है कि बिकॉज ऑल द डिजिटल इनिशिएटिव्स आर फाइन, बट पीपल हु आर नॉट डिजिटल सेवी, दे आर लेफ्ट बिहाइंड देन. नहीं
Yeah,
बिकॉज दे
right.
आर नॉट. या हाँ ठीक है, थैंक यू सो मच. लेट्स हैव अदर क्वेश्चन.
okay.
I
There's
have
a
a
question
question.
come up in the chat box. If it's that okay, thank you for answering all that. Is Ashish, would you like to unmute or you want me just read it out? Is there a process of filing complaint in the MCA portal against an unlisted public company for unclaimed dividend and duplicate share certificate issuance as neither the RTA nor the company is responding?
Yeah, so maybe you can raise a ticket with us, and then we will have a look at what can be done. Or maybe you can send us a ticket would be a better way of doing it, so that we'll monitor it and we'll be able to get back to you on that.
Great, thank you. Over to Ajay for a question, and then we'll move to
Mm.
part two. And after
So,
part two, again, the same process, and then we'll open it up again for anyone to ask questions. It will not be the end of the questions. Yes,
yeah. So,
Ajay,
hi,
go ahead.
Jai Jinendra Nintal. So, I just want to know one thing. So, suppose I have an experience ki, as we said, ki if the things are not unclaimed for the coming 7 years, then it will go in EPF. So giving an example of my parents, so I have one genuine doubt. So they have the demat and some of the amount went in EPF and some of the amount is now lying in that demat. So there is a partial movement of shares in the EPF space, but partial are stands with the demat. So is that anything wrong, or is it the way it works?
No, EPF, you mean, or you mean IPF?
IEPF, sorry,
Okay,
IEPF, sorry,
okay,
IEPF.
okay.
Different.
So basically, what happens is that if that particular folio, the dividends have not been claimed for 7 years, only then those underlying shares will come to us. And in case 7 years के अंदर ही हुआ है, तो it will remain with the company. So you will have to fill up ISR 1, 2, 3. There are certain forms which is KYC forms which are required to be filled up with the RTA. So you will have to approach the RTA of the company, update your data there, update your KYC, and then you can start getting your dividends in your account.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ajay, for that question. And Anita ji, if it's okay, let's go to the second part. We'll have a similar format. We'll just share some information, then question answers. And after that, later on, we will open it up for complete questions. It will not be the end of the questions. I'm sure by then, lots more questions will emerge. So the second part we decided for today was insolvency and bankruptcy. And again, you're such an expert on that area. But really, firstly, when I'm looking at this whole thing, I spent a lot of time in the US. And my question when I saw this itself was, in the US, a lot of people, and I know even they would just say, okay, we are filing for bankruptcy. Okay, then after 2 years, again they would file for bankruptcy. Again, now they would file for bankruptcy. And coming from an Indian background, to me it was like, किस तरह के लोग हैं, इनको शर्म नहीं आती क्या? So culturally also I was like a little shocked. So what's asking a little more social question before we get into the technicalities. How is insolvency and bankruptcy being viewed, in your opinion?
So, coming to insolvency and bankruptcy, basically we had two ways of looking at things. One is the individual insolvency that happens that we call as bankruptcy. Uh, that is currently still being done under the old act, that is the provincial individual insolvency in bankruptcy act. That's an old act which belongs to the British time. Uh,
Mm,
so that honestly has not been given so much of a focus right now in India. We are more into the company's bankruptcy. The reason being that we are looking at ease of exit, because when we look at ease of doing business, that
mm,
India, the World Bank has always been rating us based on ease of doing business, and now we are going to have in 26 the Be Ready ranking to see how easy it is to open a business in India. So
right.
a lot of processes, in fact, are being cut down or
Mm-hmm.
done better, so that the bureaucratic red tape, etc., is gone. It's a single window clearance system. You should be able to just, get something, open your business, and run it. So a
Mm,
lot of things are being done in that direction. Be that as it may, it's not always very easy to run a business. You may want to, it may have been a successful business, but probably it's time that you want to close it and move on to something else.
yeah.
There may not be stigma attached to it. There should ideally be no stigma attached. You should be able to walk in and walk out very easily,
Mm,
right? So I
mm,
mean, it's ultimately you were doing a business. I come, I set up my shop, I do what I need to. If I'm not comfortable doing it, or if there's some problem, or if there's some stress, either I should be able to resolve the stress, or I should be allowed to leave, right?
mm,
So the Companies Act 2013 allows you the process of ease of exit by winding up. by voluntary winding up is also there, and then you have a CPACE kind of a voluntary exit mechanism where you can very well just advertise and then exit quickly. So we are looking at when you can close a business down in a day, 2 days, 3 days. कि आज मैंने decide किया कि अब मुझे ये नहीं करना, I want to close it down. That is one part. What insolvency and bankruptcy looks at is there is a business that you wanted to run, but it has fallen into stress. It's not that you wanted to move away from it, but maybe you're not able to manage it better, or you need more funds to manage it better. So there are various mechanisms that are available. You have got the RBI's prudential framework, which also helps you to restructure your loans and try and make it more manageable, so that you have some more your liquidity crisis or your solvency crisis doesn't go up so much, and you're still able to run the business during the stress period. If you recall, during COVID, a lot of people had a lot of problems in running their
Sure.
businesses. So we had, in fact, through a notification, the IBC filings, we had stopped. If you've gone bankrupt if you're not able to repay your loans during the COVID period, no insolvency shall be initiated against you. What is IBC? So let me just come to that. A bank lends you money. They have various recovery mechanisms when payments are going in default. One is a one-time settlement that they one-to-one bank between a bank and the debtor. There's a one-time settlement के 100 crore का loan है, ठीक है, 50 crore दे दो, and we close the matter. That is one way. Then there is RBI's prudential framework, where you may renegotiate the loan, the term conditions, etc., and move on. The third mechanism is when you don't want to lose your car, when you don't want to shut down the business and the business is very viable, then we go in for an insolvency bankruptcy mechanism, whereby the creditors, that is the banks, they come together. The trigger here for starting an insolvency proceeding is basically 1 crore के ऊपर का जो लोन है वो default अगर हो गया है, in that event a person can file a section 7 application. So we've got three kinds of applications, where 7 is where a financial creditor files it, 9 is where the operational creditor, that is the mal supplier, files it, and 10 is the company itself files it. So these are different kinds of applications. They are filed before the NCLT. NCLT is only supposed to look at कि आपका 1 crore का default था, हुआ या नहीं. Of course, currently NCLT goes into a lot of things के liquidity है, solvency issues है, ये है, वो है. Earlier there were various frameworks, like you had SARFACI framework, and you had this BIFR framework, which was there earlier, Board of Financial Restructure, Board of Industrial Finance and Restructuring. तो उसमें क्या होता था कि the company continued to be in the control of the debtor, that is the promoter. And the promoter, if he so wanted, he could very well be a willful defaulter. He'll siphon away all the money of the bank. He'll never clear any of the loans of the bank, and this process goes on for years and years and years. So therefore, then the government came up with this, and then we had a twin balance sheet problem where the NPAs of the banks had come down very badly. It was around 12%. It was very, very high NPAs that we had. This was around just before the Insolvency Bankruptcy Code came in. Why did we have this twin balance sheet problem? You had the willful defaulters pilfering of the bank's money, and as a result of it, the banks went into NPA. Banks के NPA बहुत high हो गए. Banks started having a problem in their balance sheet. So therefore, then the issue that was analyzed was that because we are allowing the companies to continue to control when they are undergoing restructuring, companies are taking loan and then again pilfering it away. So this is what there was a kind of a distrust that had come into the system, that I don't trust you. The bank did not trust the companies. So thereafter came in. We studied the systems across the world. Most of the systems across the world are still debtor in control. The way we had in SARFAESI, etc., the systems are still debtor in control. However, that was not working out for India because we had a lot of willful defaulters like Nirav Modi,
Yes.
Vijay Mallya, a lot of willful defaulters who would happily leave the country and go off, right? So we came up with this proposal that the committee of company, once it enters into insolvency, will be under the control of the committee of creditors, who will find out how to resolve the company, give it a bid in a good mechanism, bid in a market place based on, there was certain liquidation value and certain values. I'm not getting into much of detail for that, but based on that, they would bid for those companies. It was open up for a market bid, and a successful person could take away the company. So the company will not die. The promoter is removed. The moment you have a application, this thing, the moment you enter into insolvency, the promoter is out of the system, and the resolution professional takes over. He is guided by the committee of creditors to do this work. He runs the company till a successful buyer is given, and then the company is sold off as a going concern to the successful buyer. So you had, in fact, the latest case being Bhushan Steel. Bhushan Steel was given off to JSW. Then you have Mahanandi, KSK Mahanandi, which has gone to somebody. Then Adani Group is now taken over the JP. They're planning to take over the JP. This thing. So there are a lot of such projects which are ongoing under IBC. So basically, the idea is not to kill the company, let the company run. So the success of IBC is the earlier mechanisms for all recovery mechanism. They were not basically बैंक ने इतना पैसा दिया, बैंक को इतना पैसा वापस करना है. Company, nobody was bothered. But IBC changed the whole thing that the company continues to run as a going concern. There is no loss of employment. There's no loss of economic opportunity. And this continues. So this has been the basic big change that the IBC has brought about. Another thing that has happened very interestingly is that the fear of losing my company. आई एम मतलब अगर किसी ऑपरेशनल क्रेडिटर को मुझे 1 करोड़ से ऊपर देना है, if he files a proceeding, then I am so scared that I'm going to lose my company that I'll pay him his money so that I don't lose my company. बैंक को अगर मुझे पैसा देना है, बैंक threatens me with filing an insolvency application. I pay off the banks. So this debtor creditor relationship has changed so much because of the fear of losing the company that pre-admission, we call the process as admission. So pre-admission of a case itself, around 13 lakh crores have been settled. 30,000, 35,000 odd cases have been settled pre-admission itself. आपको, so that I don't lose my company, भैया अपना पैसा ले लो, मेरे को मेरी कंपनी को रहने दो. So this has been a massive change, and as a result of this, now the NPAs is about 2.3% of the banks. कहाँ 12%, कहाँ 2.3%. So this is a
Yeah.
massive change that IBC has brought about.
Thank you. That's really educational for us. We're not in this area for us, and some of us are, but it's very educational. So now, from a layperson's perspective, let me ask you. Suppose I was listening to you, I was just thinking, there are certain companies I deal with, or I provide a service as a vendor, as a supplier. So, two questions. One is there any way for me to know कि हाँ भाई इस कंपनी से अब और मत करो, नहीं तो थोड़ा खतरा है, घाटा हो सकता है. And how do I protect myself? Because I've actually had a situation where, let me give you a specific example also, DHFL, numerous years back, and we're investing into that company, and जो rating आ रही है and all, 3-star rating, etc. And the next year they go into bankruptcy. They said, no, we can't pay anything, and हमारा सारा पैसा. And then the ruling took about 1.5 years, and कुछ नहीं वापस मिला. Literally कुछ नहीं मिला. Not even my principal. So, as a person who's, a lay person, how do we protect ourselves? What are the things that we can educate ourselves on?
All I can say is investor beware, read the fine lines. Because one
Okay.
really cannot predict, because what usually happens, at least what we tell the banks, is that please read into the filing, that annual filings that are made, and we are trying to develop a early warning system to look at the liquidity crisis of the company, whether it's actually going to be, and then you're also looking at corporate governance practices, which should be very strong. So, I mean, it's got to be a medley of various practices which is going to make a strong company. But I would not be able to really point at one thing which can
Uh,
help us to prevent that.
yeah, because you even took the, like when you said, Kingfisher was doing so well, we loved it, all that, and suddenly you find he's run away, and ये
Yeah.
सब, suddenly ऐसा
Yeah.
होता है कि भाई
Yeah.
क्या है, भाई कहाँ से
तो
कोई
उसमें
सिग्नल्स होते हैं.
उसमें ये होता है कि when it comes into insolvency and bankruptcy, we have a waterfall mechanism where the secured creditor is given his money first, and then a financial creditor is given his money, then operational creditors are last. एंड देन जो जिन्होंने इन्वेस्ट किया है वो तो एकदम ही मतलब पैसा बचता है तो मिलता है, वरना देयर मनी इज गॉन. But however, DHFL or Sahara and all that, there are various other mechanisms under the Companies Act through which they are being penalized. You have ED going after them, you've got SFIO after them, SFIO being Serious Fraud Investigation Office. So the registrar of companies and they all take action against these kind of fraudulent, because this is a fraud.
Yeah.
IBC is not intended for fraud, it is only intended for business failure. So that is the difference between a fraud and a genuine business failure. चलो चला नहीं पाए या पेमेंट नहीं कर पाए. That is the thing.
Sure. Right. Okay, there's some questions coming up. Vishal ji?
या उसी जो बड़ा रेलेवेंट पॉइंट रेज किया सुषमा जी ने, तो जैसे एज इंडिविजुअल्स वी ऑल हैव क्रेडिट स्कोर्स, राइट? उसी हिसाब से बैंक हमें लैंड करता है, हायर रेट है. फॉर द कंपनीज, what is relevant or relate or like a similar to credit score for the corporates, is that the credit rating, but वो भी हर जगह नहीं होती, that's only for the listed companies I guess. So is there a relevant, a parallel in case of companies or businesses, a credit score type, so that जैसे सुषमा जी ने डील किया है without knowing, and there's no
Yeah.
place to know कि कितना default चल रहा है, right? There's nothing like that I guess, is it?
No, I don't think so. I am not aware of anything like that. But banks do their own due diligence before lending. So, bankers should be doing much more due diligence. In fact, this is what we've been suggesting, that because the banks are lending left, right, and center without doing due diligence, that's why इस तरह के cases आ रहे हैं. So, it's a work in progress.
Another point, I think generally because as you mentioned, key context has been about willful default or fraud. Generally in India, you find so much these provisions are also misused,
Yeah.
tweaked, right? And even the professionals may CAs whether they play a big role to enable companies, whichever way, right or wrong, I don't know. And generally we see all type of cases, and that's just the irony actually, right? And so at least what you're saying is at least it is enabling even a 1 CR default can put company under the radar ki, by the way, settle. So that's like a, so that they have a bigger say, creditors have a real
Yes.
empowerment and say through this mechanism. I think that's the big change then. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So open to questions for another 5 minutes on this topic of insolvency, bankruptcy.
So sorry, I have a
Yes, Ronak
question.
ji,
Yes.
go ahead.
So I do understand the creditors, the operational creditors, they have the last thing and the threshold is 1 crore for each of them, and they cannot even be combined. Now, for a company like a Amazon or a Meesho or something like, they have too many small creditors, and if you combine all of them, they will be easily threshold of 10 crore plus or 20 crore plus. I do understand there's no bunching of all these, but in the earlier winding up provisions, so we had like 1/10 of the creditors and everything. So, can there be a mechanism wherein um, all of them combine and give a higher threshold, say 10 crores or say 5 crores together, so that they, as operational, and they can put it in the NCLT, because their money they cannot even ask, because if individual person is 10 lakh, he has to keep behind, running behind the company, keep asking, and they have a fear that if we push them further, even as an MSME, they go to MSME portal, they push them further, we'll not get that business anymore from them, though we get our payment. So, yes, I mean, together, if a bunching is possible or not possible, if it can be considered with a higher threshold, that would be great for a lot of small vendors with big companies.
So, what is happening currently? There is a lot of concern being raised that MSMEs are being given the rough ride in the IBC. So, we are trying to work out a mechanism. In fact, we got a study instituted to really understand how MSMEs are suffering under this, because, as you rightly pointed out, the amounts may be small, and each vendor has to come in separately. But then, see, if at least one of them is above a crore of rupees, and then the rest of them do come in. But I agree that we are more a financial creditor dominant mechanism rather than a operational creditor dominant mechanism. But definitely, your point is noted, and let's see. I mean, I'm sure something should come out of it, because we are working with MSME Ministry to kind of make the process better for MSMEs.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Does it answer any other questions, Ronaldji?
So I have a few other questions also related to the first topic. I think when we end, then I can ask a few questions.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
So
Okay, is there anyone else?
I had a question, like on the point around 1 CR. Let's say, as an individual, when I deal with a builder, and let's say builder has to give me a refund, or let's say I cancel the deal and I have to get back, and that amount is more than 1 CR. So technically, I'm a creditor, so I can still avail the provisions or not in this under this
So,
section.
insofar as the real estate insolvency is concerned, we have this thing that 10% of the allottees of that real estate,
Mm.
or 100 persons, whichever is more, can start the
Okay.
insolvency process.
Oh, okay. So it
So
cannot be
that's
an
how you
individual.
got JP and all of them
Right.
under insolvency.
Oh, okay. 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 So in that case, even if I have individually 1 CR, I cannot. I need to really pull in
Yeah.
with other people.
Yeah, because
Oh,
then we would not want you to be a speculative investor trying to drive the whole project
yeah.
or
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
company into insolvency. So at
Got it.
least 100 people should have suffered, or 10% of the allottees should have suffered. That's the
Oh,
idea.
okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. No, my other question, sorry, I had just out of interest that what goes behind when a bill is presented to the parliament? You just did that. I don't mind I think we only get to see the final result. We only get to see how much time it takes, right? And suddenly there is general angst, right? Hey, it takes so much time. Things have changed, as you mentioned. So many things have come up. So what it means to really work under the machinery to bring about a change.
Thank you. That's a very nice question. I would love to answer this, because it's really something, I joined this ministry in May 22.
Yeah.
Right. And at that time, we were working at the first draft of the current amendment bill. And I just joined, and within a month, I think a presentation was to be made to the Honorable Prime Minister by the Secretary. Because Secretary said the JS has just joined, she has no clue. And I honestly had no clue about what is insolvency, bankruptcy, company. Matlab, I come from a completely different area. Then the Prime Minister said, "नहीं नहीं आप जाइए और study करिए. Why NCLT is doing this? Why this?" So, sir, I mean, PM has a completely different worldview about things, which we don't get it. Then after that, we had a colloquium in November 22 where we put out base papers and we did a lot of research. We had all the NCLT, NCLAT, that is the National Company Law Tribunal, the Company Law Appellate Tribunal, the insolvency professional who are CAs, CSs, lawyers, all of them coming in, telling us, there was a lot of brainstorming, giving us different ideas. Then we came up with a discussion paper. Discussion paper was in January of 23, Feb of 23. And then we had about 1820 comments, some agreeing, some not agreeing, this, that. And then for every clause, there was a lot of discussion at different levels. We had a lot of discussion, especially the Prime Minister office was very thorough, and there was a requirement somewhere where somebody has said, that the operational creditors should be given more priority and just not the financial creditors. So there was a proposal to change the waterfall mechanism, which is the core and the heart of the IBC. So, and a lot of things were being brought in, lot of different things, this, that. And if you see the discussion paper that day, and if you see the bill of today, there's a lot of change because this all has happened through discussion at various levels. I had discussion with about at least 700 800 people, one to one in my room, कि भाई बताइए क्या है, and everybody has their own ideas, they have their own motivations. The companies want something to be done their way, the lawyers want to add something so that it benefits their cases. So these are all the things, and over a period of time you get to, I mean, sitting on this side of the table, you get to know कि वो सामने वाला क्या चाह रहा है. It like उड़ती चिड़िया के पर गिनने वाली बात हो जाती है. So you are able to understand what that guy wants and whether it is really correct, not correct for the organization. So this all comes through a process of discussion. And then the PMO office is so well informed. There is a whole structure over there, and we had to make at least 10-15 presentations to convince them to allow us to put the bill. Cross-border insolvency was a big ask of the public, but the PMO was not ready to put in cross-border insolvency because they said we don't know what's going to happen to the country then, because your NCLT is very slow and on. So then again we had to come to a negotiating point. Okay, sir, we'll have a bench, we'll have a specialized bench to look after this, we'll have specialized set of people. So this all happened through negotiations. We came to this, we placed it in the parliament. And for the last about 1.5 to 2 months, I've been making presentations before the parliamentary committee, the select committee headed by Mr. Baijan Panda, who has been listening to everybody. Then again, they come back to us with suggestions, and we say, no, 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 we can't do this, we can't do this. This is the reason we can't do this, we can't do this. So now, hopefully, next week they'll place the report in the parliament, and we'll be pushing it in the budget session. So it's a beautiful process. The democracy, the way the parliamentary systems work is just wonderful. The amount of discussion, the amount of challenges that come about, the amount of conviction it requires for you to be able to work through them and also see that, vested interests are not catered to. So this has been a huge learning process for me.
Okay. Thank you and congratulations. I think it's the first time you're talking to somebody that close to the rules which are given to us, right? So good for
Yes.
the
In
insight.
fact, they say, that the biggest thing of a joint secretary's life is the parliamentary process. And
Okay.
and not all joint secretaries get to do it. So I was really fortunate that we could go through
Okay.
this, because this is what you become a civil servant for at end of the day.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you.
So, Vishalji, Anitaji, continuing on the same topic, you got such a fantastic, impressive career, and you had mentioned that in the initial stages there was hardly any gents or women, probably also, and you. So, what is it, and is there any special person you remember who really helped and guided you through this entire process?
Uh,
Some sort of a mentor?
what happened with me was being I was what do I say? I was into science, and I
Mm-hmm.
was desperate to go to US to do some research in genetics. But my father,
Okay.
being Gujju Jain, he said, "No, no, no, I can't let my child go abroad. What nonsense is this? Oh, this can't happen. It doesn't work this way and all." Then
Oh, lovely.
he said कि नहीं नहीं और पढ़ाई करके क्या करोगी this that. So then he saw my sullen face कि मतलब ये क्या हो रहा है. Then he gave me a challenge कि ये ले ये there was an advertisement for civil service. He said तू ये करके दिखा मुझे. I
हाँ.
said, okay, no big deal. I'll do it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Then, when I was preparing for the exams and all that, so I mean, preparing for exam, one knows क्या करना है. Somehow, one knew that when you are in a competitive exam, the first thing that strikes you is that if I do like what everybody is doing, then nobody is going to like it. So I've got to be different from what others are writing. So I was very
Hmm.
clear that my papers have to be different. So I used to go
Hmm.
back to my college ka library, chan ke I made my notes and all those things. Then when it came to writing the exam, I felt sick. कल
Oh.
एग्जाम है आज 102 104 फीवर चल रहा है सो माय
Oh
मॉम
God.
टुक मी टू
हाँ.
बेन महाराज
Hmm.
so Ben Maharaj blessed and she gave some naukan, she gave some mantra, she gave I am Nama करके एक मंत्र
Hmm.
दिया उन्होंने. She said कि ये 9 बार बोलो तुम before writing the exam and you will definitely clear it. So I don't know, it was divine grace, it was a miracle, I don't know what. My fever vanished and I cleared the exam also. So to that extent, wherever Ben Maharaj is, I always pay my obeisance to
Respect.
her.
हाँ.
Yes, always. I mean, she's
Hmm.
been my mentor, so to say, this thing. And so soft spoken, she understands what is required and all that. Otherwise,
Hmm.
I've been mostly out of this. Maharaj Sahib culture, but Ben Maharaj has been a real Rajasurishwarji Maharaj and Ben Maharaj, both of them have been,
Oh,
I
that's a
should say, so
spiritual.
called my mentors.
Yeah, spiritual side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
spiritual side.
On the more technical side, just like you just said, you were told कि ये prepare करो. I mean, and similarly, you would have in your career, you would have probably had so many experiences where आपको कुछ पता ही नहीं है कि करना क्या है. How do you get the guidance to, like you just said, this prepare? Now you went back and forth इतने महीनों से. तो who's the person you reached out to? Was there anyone, or you just did it on your own? कैसे हुआ?
I personally, insofar as getting into civil service was concerned, I was on my own. I had some professor who was teaching us anthropology, and he was pretty
Uh-huh.
good. So he used to help me out, मतलब जहाँ भी doubts वगैरह आते थे. But mentor is not what I would call him. But
Okay.
mentor was my boss in Department of Atomic Energy, where he was Padma Shri. He passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Shekhar Basu. He had built the Arihant submarine, which is there. So he was a mentor in the sense कि मतलब he told कि तुम ऐसे ऐसे करना, management style ऐसा है, this is how
Mm-hmm.
you need to be, this is how you need to work. So those kind of things he thought, but then ultimately you learn on the job.
Yeah, learning on the job, being mentored,
And
reaching out
ultimately
to somebody.
survival is the key. You have to survive. So
Hmm.
then आप हाथ पैर मार के कुछ कुछ करके survive कर ही लेते हो, and that's and life is the best teacher.
Hmm. So I would say, if I were to summarize yours, you have a religious, spiritual mentor, you have life as a mentor, you have the professor as a mentor, you have your uh,
Boss as a mentor.
boss as a mentor. The role of mentor is somebody who helps, and sometimes parents, sometimes, मतलब कोई ना कोई हम जब मुश्किल में होते हैं कोई आके हमको समझा देता है. And that is exactly what I think we'll spend the next 5 minutes doing, because this is about the JPF and the mentorship program that we run. Just like, and I'm sure if somebody came to you, you'll be more than happy to give them some guidance, right? It's all about जो हमारे सारे mentors यहाँ पर हैं, they're very giving, and a lot of people here. And pass it over to Sanyog ji for the next 5 to 7 minutes to share with our participants today कि mentorship का मतलब क्या है, क्यों कर रहे हो आप, इतनी मेहनत आप क्यों कर रहे हो जी संयोग जी? बता दो। रौनक जी, is it something urgent or would you like to be okay to wait for about 5 minutes? Raunak ji, is 5 minutes okay? Thank you. Yeah. संयोग जी बताओ, क्या कर रहे हो, क्यों करते रहते हो इतनी मेहनत? हाँ।
आ, पहली मेहनत तो है कि मेरा प्रेजेंटेशन जो है शेयर हो जाए।
नहीं, यहाँ पर अभी नहीं हो रहा है.
अभी भी नहीं हुआ है।
It was getting shared previously.
It
I
was
could see it.
it was
I
a
could see
different
it.
presentation.
हाँ.
एक सेकेंड, इतने आप रौनक जी का क्वेश्चन जरा ले लें, मैं
हाँ,
इसको लेट मी
ठीक
जस्ट
है. We'll do that. Yes. So, Raunak ji, you had some question? Please go ahead. We'll just do this mentorship ka program
Oh,
little later.
is it okay? So
Yeah,
I
sure.
have like three, four questions and a few
Sure.
suggestions as well. So इसमें तो I know the government is coming up with a lot of initiatives, reclaim your money and know where your money is, the IEPF and the Mitra portal, and so many things. They are putting all the efforts, yes, and it's there in the papers and everywhere. But somewhere down the line, I mean, nowadays what people are seeing, those are reels. So, if you can approach the fin influencers and put in something through their ears and make people aware, though it's being tried, but that effort is, there are efforts, but it is not reaching to the grassroots persons over here. Though we are educated lot, we know some part of it, but the uneducated lot and a lot of people, they have no clue on how is it. Even in the regional languages, I'm not sure if it is going or not going. That is one thing. And so I had a similar case like ma'am had the Reliance shares of my father-in-law, my mother-in-law. So his father had taken shares in his name with an old address. And at that point of time, the dividend checks were not significant. He tore it and threw it away. So my mother-in-law had kept those dividend checks. So when I got married and then I came to know about this, so I immediately went to IEPF on the portal and applied for dividend. I did get it, some 7,000-8,000 rupees. But the process after that became so cumbersome. You're getting an FIR, you have to talk to the RTA. Even those shares were there, and but it was not really helping. They're like, we are not able to find it. So ultimately, I gave up, and then we had to approach a broker, wherein we found out my mother-in-law also had some shares, where her father-in-law had put some shares in her name as well for Reliance. Those 10 rupees shares wherever he
Mm.
created. And today the value is 10 lakhs and 10 lakhs, something like that. So that would be a great help for them today. But the process has become a little cumbersome. I know there are initiatives, but doing those FIRs where there's a very old address, they have no clue, and the name is so generic that anyone can come and claim it. Well, I mean, there's no pan linking also. These are all related to the old shares and not the new ones because new ones are all digitized now. So the I found out only at the agent's place that there are shares in the name of my mother-in-law also with the same address. नहीं तो हमको पता भी नहीं चलता. I know there are many portals for that. So that was the second thing. And these are just the question. I have a few suggestions. If I know I'm taking a lot of time now, regarding the portals and everything, is the government coming up in an AI chat GPT kind of system, wherein a person just within that what do you say, boundaries of domain, that it is restricted only to government related stuff. So a person today is able to use a chat GPT and ask anything. Why not have a chat GPT system of the government itself? Ask a question, it can relay information that these things are available. You can go to this website or you can help us, because there's so much of information that is there and it gets lost. I mean, I read it in the paper today that this is there, but tomorrow I go to work, I forget about it. I have to take out time to do that, but it's just not me. It's everyone who's forgetting about it. And there's so much information that is being relayed, and the law changes by the minute today. So for us, becomes a little difficult. So that would be just a suggestion that you can have a AI chat agent or something like that from the government itself, that is officially, that we can look up to, and instead of searching on the Google, we can just ask the chat GPT of the government that what can we do in these circumstances. Those are the PMO grievance portal as well. I've used that as well. I think I'm done with my suggestion questions. Last one, I'll give it at the later point.
So, insofar as the chat GPT of the government is concerned, if government asks you to install something, then there's going to be uproar saying that government wants to track us. So, we'll not get into that. But as I said, we are planning to have a unified platform where you can look in for your unclaimed assets at one place. That is one way that is being planned. And that would definitely have a chatbot. So within that, within the database available with us in the 4, 5, 6 platforms that we have, maybe something can come out in that. Yes, so that can be done, but honestly, it's going to take time. It's going to take 3 to 4 years time. The way I've seen things being developed. In fact, the integrated portal for IPFA I had envisaged in 22 November. It was announced in the budget in 23 Feb, and I've been able to go live only in August of 25. So this is how things work. So let me be very honest. It's not the best way of doing things, but then we make the best of what we have as of now, and that is the reason why these we are trying to have these awareness activity. In fact, this is one of the awareness initiatives only, that please look at all these portals, please search for these things, reclaim what is yours. And these camps are being held across the country, and you can in fact walk into any bank, you will definitely get the information on that. We've got flyers and brochures and all that also going about. AI and all, yeah, I mean, it'll take its own sweet time. And AI again hallucinates. So unless we are very clear on AI, I don't think the government would like to go on to AI, because AI will have to sit and learn first. So we are trying to develop that, but it'll take us time.
Right. Right. Thank you, Anita ji. Thank you, Ronald ji. Sanyog ji, we ready to share?
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Sushma ji, you can see my screen.
Yes, absolutely. Perfect.
Okay, I think first of all, thank you, Anita ji. Very informative and very inspiring. And I think it is the right time that we introduce JITO Professional Forum. We are part of JITO, and JITO is a very unique multi-stakeholder community of visionary business people. Is my voice echoing only for me, or?
Yeah, it's fine for us, Sanyog. Please go ahead.
Okay, so it is a community of visionary Jain industrialists, business people, professionals who share a common commitment to shape the future of the community as well as the society at large. Jito is a very large organization. We've got a footprint everywhere. There are 9 zones, there are 73 chapters, there are 31 international chapters, and I can tell you that these numbers are growing literally every day. And there were, at the time when this particular slide was created, 14 verticals, but now I hear there are 18 plus verticals of JITO. And JITO Professional Forum is one of them. And our really, tagline is where experience meets curiosity, and experiences of our mentors. We have got more than 70 plus mentors, and we have today on our WhatsApp group community more than 500 plus community members are there. Now, Our vision as well as our mission is first to build a platform where Gen professionals can engage with accomplished Gen professionals. And also, our goal really is to create an avenue across sectors to network with industry leaders, aspirants, that will drive more than 1 lakh plus Gen professionals towards the path to success. And we are moving on this road. We are not there as yet, but our ultimate mission is that we should be able to touch, just like we have JITO administrative service. I know Anita ji did not participate in that. Similarly, we should also have, our goal is that we should be able to drive success, accelerate success of professionals in the corporate sector. There are, as I'd mentioned, there are more than 500 plus members on our WhatsApp group, and there are many reasons to join our JPF mentorship program. I have listed some of them. We offer level up series. Every month, we invite our mentors. Sometimes, is depending on the topic, a single mentor or a panel of mentors who share real stories, practical ideas, which people can use immediately. We have small group mentoring sessions, and the small group mentoring sessions are limited to 10 to 20 people, where our mentor, these are highly interactive sessions that are driven by the attendees, where you can have one-on-one interaction with our mentors. You can also seek one-on-one mentorship from our industry leaders. They're community leaders. They've agreed to give their time, for the development of the next generation. And our really goal is that, that on our WhatsApp community, as well as our LinkedIn close group, where people can connect, they can learn, share, and grow with like-minded community members. All our content, when I talk about all our content, I mean the level up series and some of our small group sessions. We record them, and the content is available on demand of past sessions in a playlist on YouTube. We had posted, Ajay had posted the URLs of that, and the link to access those. You can join our session from anywhere in the world, and there is really no cost to our community members. Anyone can join and take advantage of these avenues that are available. And so we talked. People join us when we take a survey. 80% of the people, they tell us that the reason why they're joining us, that so they can seek one-on-one mentorship now or in the future. Now, if you want to really see the breadth and depth of our mentors, all you have to do is that when you are on the WhatsApp group, you can, if you go into the information or the description about the group, there is a link to the coffee table book. And in the coffee table book, you have got the profile of all our mentors. It is beautifully articulated. And just to give you an idea, these are our mentors. They come from many different industries. They are industry leaders, they are company leaders, and also they're willing to give back to the community. Now, the mentorship which is offered, and it is not just limited to the subjects that you're seeing on the slide. You can get mentorship on leadership and career development, on sales and marketing, technology, legal and policy, as you're seeing Anita ji giving you a really close up look of how laws are formulated, how policies are formulated. You can get mentorship on operations, supply chain, entrepreneurship, innovation. These are just a few areas. And what we try to do is to just try and see that what are some of the sectors. And there were hundreds of sectors, and I just picked the top 10, whether financial services and fintech, consulting and management, technology, software, media communication, education, consumer goods and retail, manufacturers, infrastructure, sales, marketing, training. There's really literally no sector which remains untouched. So you can get one-on-one mentoring. And as I said, you can speak to industry leaders, company leaders, and these are the people who have agreed to give their time for the development of others. On the screen, you can see some of the testimonials that we get from people who have taken up one-on-one mentorship. I will just pause for 30 seconds, let you read it yourself. So on the left-hand side is one of our young community members who is starting a career. On the right-hand side is someone who has been, in the business for more than 20 years, and she had a chance to speak with Mr. Anshul Jain, and she's just sharing, what her journey is. And a conversation with a mentor can actually save you 10 and 20 years of hard work, and also, can get you faster there. Now, how do you really join us? We have put this slide, we have pasted the slide on the chat. Also, if you're part of the WhatsApp group, all these links are also available over there. We are powered by the community spirit. Not all our volunteers today are on. Excuse me for a second. These are our volunteers. Ajay, Gaurav, Sushma ji, Vishal ji. We are all volunteers. We are all looking for more people to join us in this cause. Ours is really, it is driven by the community spirit, and we are able to deliver whatever we are delivering is because of our volunteers. The core team involves the chairman of JPF, which is Kumar Palji, and the director in charge, Manish ji. We work under the guidance of Vishal ji. He's the convener. Sushma ji takes out her valuable time to moderate these sessions, and Amol ji is also here, and Rutika Sawant is also here on a Sunday, trying to help us to make sure that this program is a great success. So this is what I have, for our audience, Sushma ji, and you had given me 5 to 7 minutes. I hope I lived up to that promise. And back to you.
You. Thank you. And I think now is a great time. We have something and to take advantage of this. I said, when it's a small group, it's easier to get more of your questions answered. So, Anita ji would request you to come back and unmute yourself as well as your video. And it's now open house. So, whoever would like to ask any questions to Anita ji, please go ahead. Let's keep it for another 5 to 7 minutes. Any questions that are coming up?
Yeah, I had one
Or just a
question.
general, yeah, Amit, yes, please, Amit ji.
I
I'm
had a
here,
question
Pradeep
to the.
Jain.
Okay, Pradeep, please raise your hand. We'll call your name one
No,
by
I
one.
don't know how to raise hand because I'm not able to do it. So therefore, I'm speaking.
Okay, sure.
So
Just a
my
minute.
question is that I had lot of shares, and since 15 20 years back, when I was shifting from Delhi, entire back is lost. I do not have any details. How to go about it?
So for this, please go on to our website, ipf.gov.in, go to the search facility, create your, use your username, password. I mean, create a username, password using your PAN or your mobile number. And then you can search based on your last known address, your name. There are various combinations available, so you could search based on that.
No, I tried to a lot many times. It is not showing me a single share. Then I approached an agent who gave me
Mm-hmm.
20 list of companies wherein my shares are there, but they are not coming up in IPF in my ID when I make a search. What do I do?
I'm surprised they are not, because they should.
No, that is true. Even one company had given me a entitlement letter because for
Mm-hmm.
1 year, because through one agent I tried, and after that effort, I got one entitlement letter for only for one company out of 50. I must have having shares in 300 companies,
Mm-hmm. See,
but I don't know.
one thing is, if those companies have been wound up or liquidated, then you will not get anything from those companies. So that you will have to check whether they are wound up, liquidated, what.
Like Hindustan Unilever, they are not responding. Like uh, there are so many multinational like Hindustan Unilever,
Mm.
but they are not responding.
So for that, you will have to raise a complaint on scores against the RTA.
Okay,
Mm.
okay.
Get the
Can
company to
somebody
respond.
personally approach in MCA?
Pardon?
can somebody be personally approached in MCA for the difficulties I'm facing? I'm 70 years old. I have no male child in my family.
Personally, nee, I mean, you need to see, insofar as the RTAs are concerned, you will have to go in through this thing. In case if you are in Delhi, then maybe you can come to our office. We can try and help you out. But then
Yes.
they've other things to do also. So
Yes.
the 300 shares ke liye, I don't think we'll be able to spend so much of time with you.
No,
So
I agree. You just guide me for 5-10 companies only. Then the rest
yeah,
I will follow it up
yes,
myself.
yes, that can be done.
So which office I should approach? I'm
There
I'm
is an
close to Delhi.
IPFA office in Jeevan Vihar building, ground floor. You can meet the
Okay.
PRO.
Okay.
He'll guide you.
Can I give you a reference of today's meeting?
He wouldn't know. He'll
Acha,
anyways
okay.
guide you.
Okay. And can you share his name, please?
Whoever is on duty that day, he
Okay,
would be
there are
the
so many there.
yeah,
There are so many there.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you
All the
so
best,
much.
Pradeep ji. All the best, Pradeep ji. We can
Thank you
understand
so
your
much.
pain.
It
Understand your
it
pain.
will help me a lot in my old age.
Yeah, yeah. No, no issue.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
भाई
Thank you very
Ma'am,
मेहनत
much.
मेहनत और पसीने की कमाई है. Yes, Amit ji, please go over to
yeah,
you.
ma'am, I had a question. Actually, I have worked in multiple companies, and I was in the process of consolidating my PF and my pension fund.
Hmm.
Uh, it was a struggle to get the provident fund accumulated, but the pension fund, you know, I for one company, it took me about 3 years to do it. And if you work for about 20-25 years, the values will be in 8 digit plus for all the people. And it's a real pain to get this across. Every For one company to get this link, it took me 3 years, and I've changed about eight odd companies. So can't this process be a little bit simplified to ensure that at least if you are working in a PF, if the PF has been deducted, automatically the pension fund would have been deducted by that company. But still, the documentary evidence, some of these companies may have closed. Some of these companies, the people may have changed. It's a private organization. And it's a real pain to get these things done and to find out the real contact. Companies may have merged, demerged, taken over, but still the struggle continues. And I'm telling you that this is a pain area for a lot of people for the PF and the pension fund. So I don't know whether this is the right forum or not, but I think there should be some, apart from the CP Gram portal which has been made by the government of India, there should be other alternate mechanism to make this simplified. Otherwise, to go across to PF office and to struggle, it took me 3 years for one company, and there are still eight more to go.
Your concern is noted. I will try and convey it to the concern, but I really don't know what we'll be able to do about that because pension, EPFO, and all this is quite this thing. They are in the process of modifying and simplifying their system. But see, the whole thing works on the fact that if you were not available for so many years, you're presumed dead. So the proof of proving that you are there and you are the person lies on you. So that's exactly what makes it very difficult. And there are I
No,
mean, there are processes to try and change the system, but then the system has its own inertia. Let me be very honest over there. So I really don't know how I'll be able to immediately help you, but I can convey it to the concerned.
yeah, ma'am. Just convey that there should be a logic. Any company has to do EPF and a provident fund deduction.
What happens is, what I have noticed in insolvency practice is also that the companies deduct TPF and all these things, and then they don't remit it to the respective funds. That money is unfortunately used by them themselves. So
Yeah,
companies'
that's
corporate
true.
practices also have to be in order. So the EPFO, somebody will not be able to give you money which has not come to them.
No,
So that's another
100%
issue.
agree. I am talking of only those companies who have confirmed that they
Okay.
transferred their employee uh, uh, PF and the pension fund. I'm talking only of those companies. For those
Right.
companies also, they have transferred the PF,
Mm.
but they have left the pension fund.
Right.
So there is no point. You have to again repeat the same exercise.
Right.
So that is my concern, ma'am.
Yeah, I completely understand your concern. We need to pull up our socks better, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miji. I think all the pain areas are coming out. Yes, individual pain areas. So, any more? And then we will just formally close the session.
All right.
No, ma'am, this is not an individual. I have seen lot of queue and lot of people coming to me, and I am helping them to get their at least PF accumulated, because
Ah,
people know that I have struggled
hmm,
and I have counseled more than about 1,000 people in my professional life in the past
right.
25 years. So they have been able to do their PF, but still the pension fund is a pain. That's why I
Ah,
come.
हाँ तो जो questions आ रहे हैं ना, it's not more in terms of the insolvency or company, it is individual का जो pain होता है. That's why they are coming to you. True. Just thank you so much. And any more? Just wait for another minute or 30 seconds. So I think this would be a great point to say, really, Anita ji, we can't thank you enough for educating us. And I'm sure the banks and everyone else, the government, we understand, yes, inertia to hota hai, time to lagta hi hai. But so long as it's in the right direction and moving in the right place, as individuals, we would, of course, love to see it happen overnight. But then we understand the things that you've done. But thank you so much for your valuable time and guiding us and sharing all these things where we can go and at least get started. And I'm sure you'll be part of the mentorship program. And just the people who would like to be mentored in that area of how to become a civil servant, what does it mean, to be in this particular area, not the individual. कि मेरे को
Yeah.
अब इसमें क्या करना है, but mentors as a mentor to guide people for their careers and their lives in this respect. Sayong ji, any last comments here?
No, I think Vishalji is here. Vishalji would like to give vote of thanks.
Yeah. Is he here?
Yes, he is here.
Okay.
Well,
Vishalji, are you here? No.
he was.
No. He was here. Yeah. So I think, okay. So on that note, thank everybody and please do continue. The links have been put on how you can be part of these programs, whatever type of topics that you would like, what will make it meaningful for you. Sanyog and the entire team are already there constantly seeking suggestions from you. It's your program, your space. Keep in touch with us. And with that, thank you so much again, Anita ji. I would
Thank you.
love to individually also get connected with you. There are lots to share. And I love it when there are women in the place because that's my own personal thing that, more Jain women should be there and at senior positions. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Jai
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Anita ji. Very inspiring journey.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity.